I remember when the only things that were electric were eels, chairs, and Catherine Zeta-Jones in Chicago. This is Rebooty and the Beast, a podcast in two parts. I'm Matt Molinaro.
Or is it Rebooty and the Boost?
It's the Rebooty and the Boost.
I'm Ed Burke. In the first episode, we review an original piece of media, and in the second, we discuss the reboot. And today we are on a reboot.
Rebooty and the Boost?
Rebooty and the Boost.
So this is the Rebooty. This is the reboot. This is the Naked Gun reboot from last week's episode.
Which, fun fact, is the only Naked Gun movie in the entire franchise to not have a subtitle.
Oh, like a long secondary little name?
Yes. Because the first one was like Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad or whatever.
Yeah. I'm okay with a shorter title. Those days are done.
Yes.
Do you remember Lifetime movies? They used to be like, it would be like...
Not Without My Daughter, colon...
Yeah, it would be like, Missing Daughter, colon, A Moment of Truth movie, colon, the Sherry Lewis story. But, I mean, not of Lamb Chop fame. Maybe in parentheses, not Lamb Chop.
Could you imagine if there was a Sherry Lewis and Lamb Chop, and she was a serial killer? Specifically Lamb Chop, not Sherry Lewis.
Oh gosh, that reminds me of when Winnie the Pooh's rights were up and then they made that Winnie the Pooh horror movie. Maybe Lamb Chop will...
We still haven't seen.
I know, it's on our list. But, I mean, it's technically a rebooty type thing. Also. But yeah, imagine when Lamb Chop's rights are gone, someone adapts Sherry and Lamb Chop's story to be some macabre, crazy thing.
Yes.
Don't do it.
Oh man, yeah.
Okay. This was a new one for me, The Naked Gun. We had teased this one before, and then I think we did the Frankenstein series instead, but...
Yes.
I had not seen this one. I was more, prone to do this as a series, though, because of this one.
Yes, same here.
And I didn't see any previews for it or anything. I just knew it was a thing. Oh, and I looked up what we were talking about last week about their relationship.
Oh, yeah, please.
It's still disputed about how legitimate it was, because people still say they wonder if it was convenient timing or whatever.
Yeah.
But they both say that it was real. I don't know if it's a serious thing or not anymore, but they both said that they were experiencing a real thing with one another.
Okay, great.
And
I like that.
Honestly kind of believe it, because it just seemed so sincere.
It did, yeah.
With them together. And I know he, as a person, has experienced a lot of heartbreak in his life.
Has he?
Yeah, I think his previous, if I'm not mistaken, his previous spouse might have passed.
Oh, you know what? I think that might be true. I kind of remember reading something about that.
Yeah, I feel like she passed away. Oh, Natasha Richardson was his previous wife. So, I feel like a lot of what's being talked about, about, him finding love again. And Pamela Anderson had that documentary, which, by the way, I watched, and it was amazing. If you haven't seen Love, Pamela, check it out. Yeah, I feel I would be shocked if it wasn't real.
Interesting. Okay,
just saying.
Great.
But still up for debate. You are 100% correct on that.
Okay. What is the description for this movie?
It is short and sweet. It says, only one man has the particular set of skills to lead police squad and save the world.
Is that a nod to his movie Taken?
Oh, that makes sense.
Which I've never seen.
No, I've never seen it either, but that makes total sense, yeah. Because it sounded like a quote that I knew I should be familiar with.
Yeah.
And that makes total sense, yep.
That's funny.
Yes, and as we mentioned... Liam Neeson plays the lead, Frank Drebin, but Frank Drebin Jr. in this. And other than Pamela Anderson, Danny Houston is in this.
I know. It's so funny. The minute I saw him, I was like, wait a minute. And then I remembered he was in that god-awful Frankenstein movie.
I paused and I looked at Davey and I go, do you recognize that man?
That man is responsible for a significant portion of our trauma.
Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. Other than that, there's some fun names that I recognized, obviously, but it didn't play much of a role. Busta Rhymes, Liza Koshy.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so hold on, I took off. Yeah, I was excited to see this. I didn't go in with any preconceived notions or anything, and I like the cast overall. So
yeah,
I was
same here.
Away we go.
Yeah. And remember, I think we talked last week about whether the Naked Gun, like comedy style, would work in 2025 or if it would feel kind of played out.
Yeah.
So we're about to find out.
And I'm embracing my duality with my answer to that question.
Okay. I am excited to hear how you're embracing your duality about that.
Yeah, I think I'll have an opportunity to express it within the pre-opening scene.
Okay, great. Well, before we do that, we should just mention that this is going to be our last episode for the calendar year. We're heading into the holidays, and I'm also moving in between the holidays, and so we just need to take a few weeks off from recording. So we will be back in early January with our next episode.
Yes, so, enjoy any winter, fall holidays you may be partaking in. Have a great new year, and then, celebrate us in the new year. If you are just dying to hear from us in the meantime, we do have a Patreon with a lot of content on it. It's patreon.com/NandMatt if you don't listen at the end of our episodes normally. So that's always available too if you're looking for a backlog of content. And we do a lot of movie reviews there. So if you like what you see, LOL, here, you'll probably like that too.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me. LOL. Okay. Yeah, so want to get started?
Let's do it. We start with a bank robbery. A very dramatic, lots of machine guns firing in the air. There's a bank vault kind of bank robbery.
Very like tropey heist movie vibes.
Yes, everyone on the ground, etc.
Yes, serious looking men in suits and with guns. That super blonde guy, I don't know what the actor's name was, but ridiculous.
Yes, he looked very from like a Die Hard movie.
Exactly. Yeah, he looked like Terminator.
So he breaks into, there's, robbers everywhere, but he is kind of just striding through and goes into the safety deposit room and breaks into one of the safety deposit boxes and pulls out a device that is literally labeled a PLOT device.
Oh my God.
A plot device.
Yes.
I actually thought that was funny.
Me too. I was like, oh, good. It's going to be the same kind of humor.
Yes. Then the police are outside and they're like, nobody move until the mayor or whatever, like sees this or, gives orders or whatever. And then a little girl wearing a beret and a plaid skirt and a lollipop skips right into the bank. And they're like, no, little girl, no. And then one of the robbers points a gun at her and she rips her face off and it's Liam Neeson. And I also thought that was pretty funny, especially because they have him in the little skirt and the little girl's costume as though he could have been disguised as like a 9-year-old. And he starts beating up all the robbers. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, this like opening scene felt very reminiscent of the previous movie.
Yes.
Like this like ridiculous multi-person against him, like assault and all the ridiculous gags and hits and mixed in with like actual violence and very tongue-in-cheek humor and puns along the way.
Yes, I liked when he was like crumbling guns with his hands and biting the tips of guns off with his teeth.
Yes.
That was fun.
I liked the finger guns working.
Yes, that was all good.
Yeah, I liked all of it. I liked him being in the skirt the whole time for multiple reasons. But also, I just have to say, overall, this was great. The like ripping off of the face thing and the like CGI graphics around him revealing himself.
Yes.
I was like, just make him. It would have been so much funnier if like the little girl turned around and they very obviously had it turn around and be him.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Without like the graphics.
Yeah.
It's those types of moments where I'm like, that is verging on like family movie, goofball, comedy nonsense.
Yeah.
So that's my duality.
Okay, that's fair. I do like back at the police station, kind of just like the first one, he gets called into the, captain's office and she's berating him for getting involved when he wasn't part of the scene originally. And he has just a couple great lines that I thought were really funny and timely, where he says, since when do cops have to follow the law? And then, who's going to arrest me? Other cops?
And she's like, yes.
Yes.
I love
I like
that.
that. I also like the little gag of as they're walking past somebody getting their mugshot, and it's like a glamour shot with like a wind machine and like lighting and all of
Yes,
that.
the fan. I loved that too. I love
And
that
of course,
at some point during his like being chastised by his boss, they mentioned the McDonald's incident, and he goes, they wouldn't sell me freedom fries. And someone said like, "Oh, like you were being ridiculous," and he said he wasn't over the Janet Jackson Super Bowl incident.
and they were like, that was 20 years ago or whatever. He says, not for me.
Yes. Yeah, I really liked his delivery of these lines. He was very like it was very like serious but unserious, you know?
Yeah, I read that he purposefully, like, he was like, he intentionally delivered everything very seriously. Like, he was like, he didn't make any of his lines a joke to him when he was delivering them, which I think is, exactly what Leslie Nielsen used to do.
Yeah, I think that was very effective for sure.
Mm-hmm. I also liked the kind of throwaway lines of like, well, I guess you can't fight City Hall. No, it's a building.
Yes. Yeah, I liked the humor right away. I was like, okay, I'm into this.
I also liked the little gag in the hallway where he's saying, like, he's talking to the photo of his dad, Leslie Nielsen, and kind of, hoping for a sign and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then we cut to his partner, who is the captain in the original Naked Gun movies, doing the same. And then we cut to like a young black officer doing the same thing to O.J. Simpson's photo. And he goes, Dad. And then he looks at the camera and goes,
Yeah.
And that's just it. And I thought that was perfect.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Let's see. So he gets pulled off of the bank case and gets assigned to a vehicle crash investigation. And so they send him off to investigate that. And they do keep the gag of him running into stuff with his car. Although I will say I feel like they don't do it as effectively as the original.
No, they made it less ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, he still drives like a wild animal, which I enjoyed. And I thought it was ironic he was going to a collision scene.
Yes. So at the scene, it's like an electric vehicle that's like upside down, drove off the road. There's no skid marks or anything. We learn his name is Simon Davenport, and he has a sister named Beth Davenport, and they go, what do we know about her? And he goes, not much, and then proceeds to list like a million things about her, and like she likes to have a cup of coffee in the morning, and she likes to see the sunrise, and
she's
all of that
self-proclaimed shopaholic.
Yes.
I love that. I also love when they first get to the scene, someone asks Frank Frank, drunk about the car accident, and he goes,
yes.
Just enough to wake me up.
I like
There's
that
also
too.
when we get the line I opened with about the only things that were electric.
Yes, electric eels, electric chair, and Catherine Zeta-Jones in Chicago.
I love that. I also love the gag of them like removing the car from the scene with a giant like carnival claw scene, complete with the carnival music.
Yes, I also liked when the fact that they had been at the scene for about 30 seconds, and then he says, "I've seen enough. Mark it as suicide." Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So then back at the station, he gets a visitor, and it is none other than Pam Anderson.
Yes.
And she says, you're wrong about my brother. Like, he called me last night, and we had plans to meet this morning. And does that sound like somebody who was going to, die by suicide? And then she's like, who would have killed him? Like, what reason? And I just love that he goes, there's always a reason to kill someone. Did he have an obnoxious laugh?
Yes. I wrote that down too. That was great. I loved one of my favorite like throwaway gags about this is him grabbing a cup of coffee or being given a cup of coffee and then throwing it on the ground.
Yes, which is one of the throughout the whole movie. Everybody's always handing him cups of coffee, and he throws another one on the ground.
Yeah. I also love when they first get to this was so stupid, but it cracked me up. They first get back to the police station, and they have someone walking with a folder, like they're about to like put something serious on a bulletin board about this case. And so like, you know, the camera's following them and it's like very serious. And when they put what's on the board, it's like the spring musical cast announcements for the police station, and everyone like runs over to it. I don't know why, but that had me dying.
That was good.
So dumb. But yeah, I liked the introduction of Pam Anderson's character. Obviously, I like that she says she is she writes
true crime novels.
I don't know if this is an exact quote, but she says she writes true crime novels based on fictional stories that she makes up.
Yes, I thought that was very funny.
I want to do that.
So we learned that her brother was a like head programmer for this guy who Danny Houston, who was like the head of this company called Eden Tech, and the electric car belongs to Eden Tech. And so he goes to meet him, and Danny Houston walks up to Frank Drebin and says, "Lieutenant Drebin," and he goes, "Me too."
Yes, I wrote that down too because it reminded me of the last movie.
Yes. And I was like, he goes, "Cigar?" And Drebin says, "Looks it to me." So stupid. He lights a cigar and Drebin notices that he's got a matching matchbook to the one that he found in the car crash scene. And Danny Houston, it says it's like it's a club he owns, whatever. There's a moment where they throw around the R word, and I'm like, I don't know that we needed to do that in 2025. But when he gets back to the police station, Danny Houston has given him a gift, and it's one of his electric vehicles. And there's just a few things about this that I find very funny. Number one, the steering wheel is a triangle. I loved that. I thought that was so stupid and funny. I also loved that, it's all voice command. And there's like gags where his partner can't figure out how to open the door, but then he voice commands it open and the door hits his partner in the face and then crushes his hand. And then he starts driving away and rips all of the electric vehicle charging stations out of the wall. And he's like, such a smooth ride.
Yes. He rips like a brick panel off of a prison wall.
And everybody's escaping.
There's like a man in like a Silence of the Lambs mask walking out of the prison.
Yes.
Oh, ridiculous.
I think the next scene is where they get Busta Rhymes, who they spotted at the bank robbery, and he has the line that he was in prison for 20 years for manslaughter.
Yeah,
and
he goes,
like, "Do you mean manslaughter?"
He must have been quite the joke.
Yes.
That was up for my opening line. By the way, Busta Rhymes, I've always thought was just so hot.
He is. I would agree with that.
I remember when he first came out with music, I was like, oh my god, obsessed. I was obsessed with Busta Rhymes in the 90s.
Same.
Make more music. Anyway.
So then I think we get he's like, show him the body cam footage because Busta Rhymes is insisting he was not at the robbery. And so we get a long extended scene of all of Frank Drebin's body cam footage, including him eating a chili dog for breakfast and then shitting his pants multiple times and shamefully eating another chili dog. And then complaining to himself, talking about how pathetic he is and how he was breastfed until he was 13. And then, I loved the moment where he was about to shit his pants again and he's knocking on the restroom door and then starts firing his gun in the air to get the people out of the way to get in the bathroom. I thought that was funny too.
That was the best. It was starting to go on, I thought, a little bit too long. And then the person knocked on the bathroom door and he just shoots the gun out the door. I was like, oh, that was it.
Yeah.
Which is obviously the parallel to the first one with Leslie Nielsen peeing and farting.
Oh, for sure.
On the
for
camera.
Sure. And I think that's where Busta Rhymes mentions that that one blonde robber was there for a safety deposit box, and they find out it belonged to Danny Houston.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So this is when I think we cut to Danny Houston and we learn a bit about his evil plan, right? How he's talking to this
like boards of, whatever.
Yeah, it's like a room full of rich white men, and he's talking about how they ran an experiment and he can like emit a device frequency and it reduces the brain to its animalistic core. And basically his like big evil plan is they're going to deploy that device sound through every smart device on the planet, turn all of humanity into like rage fighting animals while they all hide in the bunker. And then after humanity kills itself, they'll emerge and start over a new society, and it'll be great. Oh, and in the bunker, we have only the best entertainment, and then we get a little cameo from Weird Al.
Yes, I was like, oh, Weird Al. I also love in this meeting, like you said, it's basically a bunch of like older men, and then there's one woman, and when he addresses them, he goes, gentleman, lady.
Yeah. And he calls it Project Inferno, and it's set to deploy on New Year's Eve. Mm-hmm. So then we're back with Liam Neeson, and he decides to go to the club that Danny Houston owns to talk to him and investigate. And we see in the decor, I just have to shout out that the beaver from the original Police Squad movie is like on display at the club. Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because there were a bunch of like taxidermy animals there.
Yes.
I also love that on his way to this club, he takes like that Tron-like electric car that they have, and he's basically asleep in it, and it's like telling him to wake up.
Yes.
And he's just like crashing over the sidewalk. It's like, please adjust your wheel. And when he finally wakes up, he's like seeing people like in his way, and he's like, wow, people are really, really dangerous.
Yes, I thought that was such the car driving on the sidewalk felt like a fun nod to the original movie too. So then Pam Anderson is at the club as well, and let's see. He like monologues about her in his head and says like, she's so sexy. She has the kind of body that looks like it carried her head around and blah, blah, blah. And then she like runs directly into a pole, which again felt like a fun nod to Priscilla Presley falling down a flight of stairs.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And then Danny Houston comes over and he has to introduce her, but he gives her the fake name because, you know, he doesn't want Danny Houston to realize that Pam Anderson is the sister of the man that he might have killed. So he calls her, looking around the room, Miss Cherry Roosevelt Fat Bozo Chewing Spaghetti.
Which Danny Houston just accepts and calls her Miss Spaghetti for the rest of the movie.
Oh. So he asks for the security footage at the bar because he, you know, knows that Pam Anderson's brother was there at some point, and he like puts Pam Anderson to distract Danny Houston while he goes back in the security area to look at the security footage. And there's just a few funny moments in this where Danny Houston asks her like, "May I speak freely?" And she says, "I prefer English." And he pours, oh my God. Okay, this is the one moment I had to rewind. So he pours her like champagne or something, and literally as she's about to sip it, he says it's from Bill Cosby's private estate, and she goes, and like spits it back into the glass. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh. I was like, oh yeah, this was so recent. I forget this was
Yes. Yes.
I also love that while they're having this date, while she's like distracting him, behind her we see Liam Neeson, or like, you know, what's his name? Yeah, Liam Neeson's character. Casually having this massive brawl with someone, like killing them with like a huge lamp.
Yes.
Totally not discreet at all. Just right behind them.
And they discover Pam Anderson and Danny Houston both have a love of jazz. And so in order to distract him, she's like, she like jumps up on the stage. And by the way, between sitting in the chair and when she gets on stage, her hair and her dress change entirely, which I thought was very funny. And she starts scatting, which is possibly the funniest part of this whole movie, is Pam Anderson scatting.
It was so
to
good.
some jazz. It was amazing.
So good. And it goes on for a while and it gets like progressively more ridiculous.
Yes. I also loved that when he's fighting the guards and then like breaks into the security system, this security system, before it'll show him the footage, has ads that he can't skip.
Oh, yes.
Which feels very accurate for our lives. including for a men's like protein drink called Gorilla Nut, and then another product called Muscle Slime, which is literally slime for building muscles.
So accurate.
Amazing.
So accurate to the names of the cyber projects that are out there.
100% Gorilla Nut power drink. Oof.
Oh my God.
So then in the footage, he sees her brother meeting with a reporter from the LA Chronicle, or not meeting with, like there's a reporter from the LA Chronicle eavesdropping on it. Mm-hmm. But then he, due to his shenanigans at the club, the police chief basically dresses him down for causing a scene at the club and suspends him for 2 weeks. And she's like, get down here. And he shows up at like the whole conversation is happening at her apartment in her bedroom, which I thought was very funny.
That was the best because he's like, she wants to see him right away. And she's literally in bed, sitting up in like a very like casual bedroom. Her husband is laying down next to her, sleeping the whole time in a like face mask. And she's in like a bonnet. And multiple times they're whispering, talking low. And multiple times through the conversation, she's like, you need to be quiet because Ronald has a presentation tomorrow and you cannot ruin his sleep. And there's a part when he goes, oh, okay. He's like, and she's like, he's up against Simon or something. And he's like, but Ronald trained Simon.
Yeah.
She's like, I know. Dead.
I think the next scene is when Pam Anderson shows up at his apartment, right?
Yeah, he gets back to his apartment and she's outside. And they have that conversation, that like super suggestive conversation that goes, it starts out like, you know, the typical sexy talk, innuendo, and then goes into talking about like preparing a raw turkey.
Yes, I like my turkey pink in the middle. I bet you do, you dirty boy, kind of stuff.
Yes, I love a sick little boy.
A sick little boy in there? That's what it was. So gross.
Yeah, he's like, you get salmonella that way. She's like, that's okay. I love a sick little boy.
So gross.
Oh, gosh.
They kept the tearaway suit gag. He changes into something more comfortable, and we get the tearaway suit gag from the original. That. I also loved the excuse the mess, and he's like tidying up grenades and bullets on his like coffee table.
Yes, I noticed that too. I was like, oh my God, what is this?
I also loved when she's looking out the window and she says like, I went to college here. And he goes, UCLA? And she goes, I see LA every day. So stupid. Okay, so they are actually going to bake a turkey, and we get kind of this scene where the blonde-haired man is like spying on them through the window using like thermal imaging binoculars, and it turns into like he can only see what's happening, and it's very like Austin Powers in the tent kind of silhouette jokes where it looks like she's like jerking him off, but she's actually cleaning the oven. And then it looks like he's fucking the dog, which I was like, I don't think we needed to go here.
Yeah. It was very like Three's Company, but for like Fox TV.
Yeah.
Edgy.
I also loved where her hair gets in her face and he goes, your hair, may I? And he like goes to brush away her hair, but instead it like crunches and like sticks out to the sides like Cindy Lou Who or something about Mary.
Yes,
like,
it's so ridiculous. And he's like, that's better.
Yes. And then I think that's when we get kind of the like montage scene of them like bonding on vacation, and it starts out kind of normal, like they're at like a snowy resort, and then they pick up a book called Spells and Incantations and bring a snowman to life. Yes. And at first it seems like they're maybe like having threesomes with the snowman, but then they push the snowman out of the relationship and the snowman becomes murderous and tries to shoot him, and she ends up decapitating
all of his asthma.
Yes, pumps out all his asthma inhaler to try to kill him. And then she ends up decapitating the snowman with a samurai sword. Very silly and stupid.
Yeah, it was like starting out to just be like that montage you got in the first movie where they experienced like 7 months of dating in a day. But it just took it to a whole different level.
And then when he comes back, he goes to investigate the journalist that had overheard her brother. And when he gets there, he like steps in and he goes, I don't even remember what the journalist's name was, but he's like, Dennis, I stepped in some kind of red liquid. And then he looks at the counter and sees a bloody knife under a note that says, pick me up. And he picks it up. And then next to it is a tape recorder that says, say your name and say I did it. And he does all of those things. And then he finds the body of the journalist. So he's been framed in the least clever way imaginable.
Mm-hmm. You're pretty close. It was Douglas, by the way.
Was it Douglas?
Douglas. You said Dennis. That's pretty good.
Oh, that's funny. I liked when he tries to pick the body up off the floor because he's like, I've got to cover my tracks and like dispose of the body. And instead he accidentally lifts the body up into the ceiling fan and it like decapitates the head and blood sprays everywhere.
Yeah, he's like, oh, never mind.
Yes.
He doesn't even react, really.
Yeah. And then jumps out the window into his self-driving car, and Danny Houston takes control of the car. And it's so funny to me that he's like lit from below with like red lighting to make him look all evil. And then we cut back to him and it's like him in the penis rejuvenation machine that he had showed earlier in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was fun.
Yeah. I love this car scene because this is the one now he's trapped in the car that's going. And, you know, Danny Houston explains to him through the little screen how he's going to frame him and kill him, and no one will believe him. And he like manages to break the windshield off the car. I forget what he has.
Yes.
He like shatters it off, but then immediately he runs through a thing with like a million balloons. So it's like him struggling through those in the car. Then I don't remember how the bees came up.
Yeah, it was like beekeepers carrying a bee colony across the road.
Yes, then there's a million bees in the car. And then my favorite is he's driving past people who are carrying like the perfect fit windshield across the road, and it locks everything back in the car with him.
Yes.
And I love that the way he gets help is he's like pounding around the screen like asking for help, and then Clippy.
I died when Clippy came up on the screen.
Clippy popped up and was like, you need some help.
So good.
I love Clippy. Justice for Clippy.
Wasn't there also like iterations of Clippy? Like there were other assistants that you could use for a while.
You can right click Clippy and make him anything. I made Clippy like a little wizard.
Oh yeah.
I forgot what else there was, but there was definitely a little wizard.
Did you just say justice for Clippy?
I did. I did.
To be completely honest, I mean, I'm surprised with everything being AI now that we don't have the resurgence of Clippy, because I feel like AI would be so much more appealing to people if it was Clippy saying it.
I would much rather have Clippy telling me things.
Yeah. Anyway, in the next scene, his partner calls him and he's like, all right, the mayor's seen everything, like police squad is being shut down. And in the background, you see a Spirit Halloween sign being hung over the police department sign. I loved that.
Perfect.
Meanwhile, he goes to see Pam Anderson and he's got like a cut on his arm from the escape. And she's like, this is all I have. And she pours vodka on his wound, but then proceeds to treat his wound with the rest of the ingredients of a Bloody Mary, including like bacon and a celery stick and salt and pepper or whatever.
The celery stick at the end was my favorite.
Yeah. I one thing I kind of missed is at this point, this is kind of like their breakup scene where he feels like he's been duped by her. And I didn't quite get why.
Yeah, they have a big argument because he thinks that, there's not really a real reason why they have an argument, but the reason is because she taped over Buffy on TiVo.
Yes. Because I told you not to plug it into the internet and the Buffy episodes might be gone, and he names all these important. He's like, no Spike, no Xander.
No Willow meets her doppelganger.
Yes.
And he's like, let me check it. And he puts it on and he's like, gone.
So funny.
But yeah, they didn't really explain why they had a falling out, to be honest.
Yeah. But then they finally track down the blonde head of security, blonde thief from the bank, who ends up being the head of security for Danny Houston, which doesn't make sense to me why why would he have broken into his boss's vault to get a piece of equipment that he already had?
It was it was not his boss's vault, it was Davenport's safety deposit box.
Okay. So they kidnap him, they gas him in a car, and he wakes up in a a hospital room. And he's like, what day is it? And the nurse says January 2nd. And like on the news, they've put information about Danny Houston being arrested. And Liam Neeson comes in and is like, we stopped his plan. And he told us that you killed that reporter. And he does this like really long, ridiculous speech about like, you're the sexy jailbird. And
they're going to love you over there.
And so we learned that his plan is to activate the device at the WWFC fight on New Year's Eve in the New Year's balls. And anyway, it's all been like an elaborate scheme. The hospital room walls fall away, and he's like, did you get that? And he's there with some police officers who are like, we got it all. Was this a legal way to get a confession, though? And he's like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'll break the law whenever I want, and I'll do it again. And then that police officer turns to the wall and says, did you get all that? And those walls fall away. And it's internal affairs. And they're about to arrest him. And I forget what they say, but then they do another, like, did you get all that gag? And internal affairs gets arrested by OSHA. That's right.
Oh, yes.
So stupid. So it's only 90 minutes to New Year's Eve. So he has to rush to the WWFC fight, which is at a arena called the Ponzi Scheme Arena.
Oh, yes. I love that. I noticed that too.
But by the way, in the real world, the piece of trivia, it's called the Crypto.com Arena. So not that far away.
Yeah, seriously.
And he and his partner are wearing earplugs that block digital frequencies. So that way, if it gets activated, they'll be safe. Mm-hmm. And we had another line that I really liked where his partner is something like, oh, he's talking about the confession they just got out of the blonde guy. And he's like, was that legal? What about Miranda rights or something? And he goes, pretty sure, Liam Neeson goes, pretty sure it's Carrie who writes. Miranda's a lawyer.
Yes.
Dumb, but loved. Oh, Pam Anderson, we see her momentarily walking into the arena dressed like the cover of one of her true crime novels, which I was like, for a moment, I was like, oh no, is she going to be the villain of this movie somehow?
I know, because her novels are called The Killer Who Wore Lipstick. And I'm like, are they nodding that she's going to be the killer the whole time?
Right.
But I'm glad that's not how it happens.
No, but she does try to kill Danny Houston in revenge for her brother, but somehow he took her bullets out of her gun without her looking. Mm-hmm. And then he starts like pulling a bunch of other guns out of her, including an entire shotgun under her wig.
Which is a bob.
Yes.
It just like pulls out like it's in the back of her head. I love that. I also love that before we see Danny Houston, he's getting ready in the mirror and he's putting on the scar.
Yes.
He's literally like placing on the like visual effect scar on his face.
Yes.
So stupid.
So then I think Liam Neeson gets to the New Year's Eve balls and goes into them for the device, but he accidentally like presses the button that starts the balls descending above the fight. By the way, it is two balls.
Two disco balls together, and he's now sticking out of them with his legs in the air.
Yes.
You get the idea.
And his pants get ripped off, and everybody sees like his dong.
Mm-hmm. And then we get a bunch of, it's on camera because it's like the New Year's thing. So we get a bunch of people at home seeing him naked, and there's like a person doing commentary describing him.
Yes. By the way, one of the people who sees him is Priscilla Presley.
I saw, and I was like, okay, I saw she was in the movie, made a cameo as his mom. But I was like, that's it?
That was it.
She's
I know.
She's get a word.
Blink and you miss it.
She's just shocked on camera. It was blink and you miss it. If you didn't know she was in there, you would just think that if you didn't recognize her, which if I hadn't seen the movie just a week before, I probably wouldn't have.
Right. Agreed.
But yeah, I thought that was cute, but I thought they could have at least given her like a line.
Yes.
Anyway.
So anyway, he, descends into the WWF arena. He fights a couple people. Security's coming. He has to run away, but Danny Houston ends up getting the device from him and activates it and turns everybody into, brainless animals who start attacking each other. So there's this just huge chaotic scene of people fighting.
It's like The Purge meets those scenes in Mean Girls when they're describing like the safari in the mall.
I am so glad you said Mean Girls, because I was like, this scene keeps reminding me of something, and I can't think of what it was. And you're right, it's absolutely the scene from Mean Girls.
Yes,
where everybody's
the wildness,
fighting,
including even the animal sounds a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. So the rich escape on their motorcycles. Of course, there's some, sight gags there where they're, about to ride off into success, but several of them don't know how to ride motorcycles. So they're like hitting each other and falling over and stuff.
That was pretty funny.
And then Liam Neeson sees an owl. This is the part of the movie where I was like, okay, there were two parts of the movie where I was like, what? Number one was the spells and incantations with bringing the snowman to life. Mm-hmm. The other part was this part where he sees an owl and he's like, Dad? And the owl, which is a regular sized owl, carries Liam Neeson through the sky and helps him take down the men on the motorcycles. Like, he's being carried by a regular sized owl, kicking the heads of people on motorcycles.
Mm-hmm. Well, you remember earlier he told his dad,
yes,
like, send me an owl later.
Yes,
if you're around. I thought it was funny. I did think that the bird pooping on someone's face or whatever was another example
little childish
of really bird poop humor.
Yes, agreed.
But yeah, they could have been a little bit. I get their being over the top and ridiculous, but whatever. He's flying around in an owl to Fergalicious.
Yes, Fergalicious, that's right. I did like that when the owl flies away, it does an owl shriek, and they caption it, "I'm proud of you, son."
Yes.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I didn't mind it overall, besides the bird poop.
Yeah. And then basically,
we get a scene where Dave Bautista is playing Leslie Nielsen's... I did it too. Liam Neeson's character for a second. Like, delivering a line, and then Liam Neeson comes back, like, from a bathroom break almost, or, like, from the previous scene. It's like, okay, thanks. You did great.
Yes. And Pam Anderson shows up, and she, like, wants to kill Danny Houston, and he's like, it's over. And I just love this exchange. He says it's over. She says, not for me, it isn't. And he says, it won't bring Simon back. And she says, you don't know that for sure. And he goes, you're right. Anything is possible. Yes. Which I just love the idea that he's entertaining for the moment that if she murders somebody, it might bring her dead brother back to life.
The next lines were cracking me up. Where he's like,
which ones?
Don't do it. You don't want to do this. Once you kill somebody, once you shoot somebody, your life be changed forever. And he's like, it'll be the best feeling you ever had in your whole life.
Yeah.
And he goes, so put it down. Don't throw all of this away for the best feeling you'll ever have in your entire life.
I did like that too.
Oh my God. And I also love this moment where, like, they have the device also, and on the device it says, like, you can calm people, because at one point the whole idea is that this technology was created by her brother to calm people down.
Yes.
And at one point earlier in the movie, they're like, well, what does he plan to do with it? The opposite? And Liam Neeson's like, calm people up?
Yes.
And when you look at the device, it says calm people up or calm people down.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So they calm everyone down, and Enya starts playing, which I thought was very funny.
Yes, perfect. Pure moods.
And that's pretty much the end, right?
Yeah. We find out that Ron got the job.
Yes.
So he got the promotion. That's everyone's very happy. The cars all said to warm and serve instead of to protect and serve, which I read was in one of the previous movies.
Yes.
What else happens? Pam Anderson and him are kissing in the truck. Oh, did you watch the credits?
I didn't. No, I never do.
The credits. Okay.
What did I miss?
So first, they replay at the very end the original siren ending from the previous Police Squad openings.
Oh.
They just kind of rework it a little bit, but they have the the siren going through the streets and through the school and whatever. So that was a lot of fun. They've also done, what else they did? In the credits, there's some other scenes. So we see back at the Police Squad, they're sending him to Internal Affairs. They say, we're sending you away for an Internal Affairs investigation. But what they do is they send him to what's called the Internal Affairs Resort and Spa. And it's all the people who are under investigation at the Police Squad at this like tiki bar. And he's there with Pam Anderson. And they're like standing there in like this like vacation scene. It's very White Lotus looking. And they say something whatever goofy, and then they freeze frame the ending as the credits start rolling.
Oh, yes.
But they are just standing there, and you can tell they're kind of moving a tiny little bit. And then they start to be like, what's going on? And everyone else around them is actually in a freeze frame, except for the two of them. So they walk around the scene as the credits are rolling, like reacting to the people that aren't moving.
Oh, that's fun.
And there's this part, you have to go back and watch this part just for Pam Anderson's line.
Okay.
She walks over to one part. At one part, they walk over to like the extras that are like in the background just hanging out. And they're like, you know, surprised that they're not moving. But the end of it is Pam Anderson and him. He's like, let's get out of here. And he's like kind of dragging her off set. But before they leave, they pass this like couple that are laying on a beach chair and not moving. And she screams at them, wake up, you piece of shit.
I love that.
And then you get the siren ending.
That's fun.
Yeah, it was cute.
That. Do you want a couple pieces of trivia? Well, really, I've mentioned a couple of them already, so I really only have one more, which is a very fun piece of trivia, I think.
I'm here for it.
So when Pam Anderson first read the script, she saw that there was a scene where her character would be scatting, and she told the director that when she was in 8th grade, she was in jazz band, and she would sing scat solos, and he didn't believe her until she did it in front of him, and that's what landed her the job.
Oh my God, I love that. It was
so
great.
Funny. It was great. If anyone listening, if you have no interest in seeing the rest of this movie, just go find the scene of her scatting because it's great.
Yeah. Here's a fun fact. I had heard from when I read the trivia from the last movie that Weird Al Yankovic was in was one of the only characters. I think also Priscilla Presley. Were the only characters that had been in all the Naked Gun movies.
Yes.
And so I was looking for Weird Al secretly. And there's this guy with curly hair that shows up earlier in the movie. And I was like, oh my God, is that Weird Al?
Oh my gosh.
Not at all. And Davey's like, no.
No.
Humiliating. Yeah, that's my piece of trivia.
That's really funny.
Do you want the ratings?
Yes.
Okay. IMDb, and this could change because this was a new movie, everyone. So as of, mid-November, because I have noticed even with Frankenstein, it's changing every day.
Yeah.
IMDb gives this a 6.4.
Okay.
Which is actually a little lower than when we originally had this because I had the original rating up.
Oh, okay.
It went down like a point something. Rotten Tomatoes is 88% for the tomato meter, and the audience meter, popcorn meter, is 73%.
Okay. I think I'm gonna give this a solid 6.5. Like I didn't think it was incredible, but I thought it was entertaining. And of all things, it was an hour and 25 minutes, which thank God. So I think it's fine. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to give it a 7.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a 7.0. I thought it did the things I wanted it to do. It brought a ridiculous, zany sort of madcap kind of comedy to like a current time. It got rid of the sports element and made it like a MMA thing, but that very little part of the plot, which was great.
Yes, much briefer.
Yeah. Some of the things were a little ridiculous. I agree with the bird scene, especially the poop in the opening. That could have changed a little bit. But, yeah, I was overall very satisfied. And he said something in the movie that I thought was just exactly what this movie should have been, which is when he's, like, looking at his dad's picture, he's like, I want to be just like you, but not just like you. I want to do my own thing.
Yes.
I forget what he says, what the exact thing was. But he's like, I want to be, like, enough like you, where I'm, like, hitting the notes, but, like, I ultimately want to be my own version.
Yes,
and
that
I
was funny.
like, yeah, that's exactly what he's saying he wants to do for this role,
Yes, yeah.
And I think he did.
Do you think this movie is a beauty or a beast?
I say it's a beauty.
Okay. I think I would agree.
Yeah.
It certainly wasn't bad.
No.
So
I mean,
I think
definitely some parts could have been better. And like you said, it was appropriately lengthed.
Yes.
Appropriately lengthed. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I laughed a lot. Not as much as in the first one, but I laughed a lot.
Agreed. Yeah.
So after we come back, we're going to return to Oz, everybody. I'm forcing N into returning to Oz because the Wicked movie is going to come out while we're gone. So I want to review it when we come back.
And so we're going to do the actual Return to Oz and then Wicked for good?
Yes. And I'm mentioning Return to Oz because... Do you know who stars in it as Dorothy?
Is it Fairuza Balk?
Yes!
Okay.
That's the name I looked up. And I had already forgotten how to say it.
That's funny.
So it is her first role.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. I'll be curious to, I mean, I know it's weird and that it's polarizing, so I'm curious. You know how I have a feeling about Oz. There's something that sets me on edge with Oz. So I feel already uneasy, but I'll power through it.
It's got like a dark vibe. I haven't seen it since I was a kid watching it on TV, but it's got a dark vibe.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll see you next year. And if you want to help us grow in the meantime, in the interim, please, the best thing you could do is to rate and review our podcast on whatever platform you're listening to us on right now.
Yes, and also you are probably very popular and have a ton of friends, and they would also, I'm sure, love to listen to this podcast, so you should tell them to do just that.
You should also follow us on social media and share social media accounts with your friends. It's RebootyPod on Instagram, and you can also email us at rebootypod@gmail.com. We love getting feedback. We take recommendations. So just say hi.
Yeah, and as we mentioned before, we do have a Patreon, which is patreon.com/NandMatt. We do monthly bonus episodes, a lot of movie reviews, but sometimes we play games, so check that out.
And thank you so much for listening to Rebooty and the Beast.
See you next year.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.